Now, in the previous segment, we were discussing the situation that Robert E. Lee was in 155 years ago today due to the absence of his cavalry commander, General Stuart. Now, in this segment, we're going to be discussing exactly where Stuart was. Now, much of this is going to be taken from a lecture by Dr. Gary Gallagher, who is a historian at Gettysburg National Military Park. He gives a much longer version of this, and I'd encourage you to look it up. It's a really brilliant discussion on the matter. So, what was going on was General Stuart had 7 brigades of cavalry. 5 regular brigades, those who were regularly attached to the army, and 2 who were irregular brigades, those who were put in the army just for the sake of the Gettysburg campaign. Were not regular soldiers, kind of, volunteers, last-minute volunteers. And so what had happened was he marched north, and he was under orders from Lee to gather what supplies you could and keep in contact with us. And he took 3 of his best brigades with him on this. And he left 2 of the irregular brigades with Lee, General Jenkins and General Imboden, namely. And the other 2 regular brigades, he decided to leave in Virginia. Now, logically speaking, wouldn't it have been smarter for Stuart and better for Lee to give him the veteran brigades? There's reasons for that. The 2 brigades that he left in Virginia, one was Grumble Jones, the other was the brigade of Beverly Robertson. There's history with all of these men here. Now, with Beverly Robertson, both he and General Stuart had both been engaged to the same woman. Needless to say, that created for a difficult working relationship there. And another one with Grumble Jones, there was a strong dislike between these 2. There was a situation where during the grand review that General Lee was doing before the invasion, where they had the army all lined up and Lee was checking everything out, Grumble Jones decided to order his men to dismount and lay on the ground. Needless to say, when Lee saw this, he was pretty ticked off, and it was pretty much a mud in your eye kind of thing from Grumble Jones to Stuart, kind of a, yeah, you know, that sort of thing. So Stuart decided that he was not going to allow these 2 to be part of the great campaign heading north. He decided he was going to leave them there. He left them in Virginia. And so he had the 2 irregular brigades with Lee. Thing is, Lee did not trust irregulars. He thought they were unreliable. He didn't use them. He gave Jenkins over to General Ewell to kind of keep an eye, to hang out with him. And General Imboden, he actually left in Hancock, Maryland. And so he did not use them. So he was marching blind in enemy country based on that. And meanwhile, Stuart thought that he left things well in hand when he really didn't. And so at the same time, while he was marching north, he came across a Union caravan, you could say, full of supplies. It was several hundred new wagons and mules and supplies, and the thing is that just slowed him down even more. So that's pretty much a situation that it was in. And as Dr. Gallagher put it, and it makes a lot of sense, where he said, how many times do you see it where somebody puts a personal whim over what's best for the organization, which is exactly what happened here. Stuart put his personal feelings in the way and did not give Lee the tools he needed to complete that campaign. So more on that to come.